Okay, so for Ross chapter 14, that's what we're dealing with here. Okay, so Ross chapter 14 is about pronominal suffixes attached to nouns. What we're going to learn here is that the pronominal suffixes that you attach to the preposition lamed, by and large, can be attached to nouns to indicate who or what the noun belongs to. All right? So just to give you an example, I can say something like Sus David, and that's a construct chain. How would I translate that? The horse of David, right? So horse is thing one, David is thing two. What if I want to say the horse of him? The horse of him. What do I do? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the word sus and I'm going to add a third masculine singular pronominal suffix. Okay? Sus is thing one, and now my pronoun is functioning as thing two. Okay? So we're going to add our pronominal suffixes to the back side of the noun. So that is the horse of him. Okay? What's another way to translate Suso, the horse of him? His horse. That's right. Okay? So a lot of times these pronominal suffixes will be possessive. That won't always be true. Just like when we have a construct chain over here with the full noun as thing two, that doesn't always mean that thing two is the possessive. It's not always a genitive of possession. Here it is. It's David's horse, the horse of David. But remember, we could have a rod of iron, for example, and there iron is not possessive. All right, so the horse of him is his horse. So what we're going to do here is we're going to learn how to add our pronominal suffixes to the noun in this chapter. And Hebrew has two sets of pronouns that we're going to use. And I'm going to refer to them in this way. We can describe them as set number one and set number two. Okay, there's two sets of pronominal suffixes, set number one and set number two. I have a nickname for these, okay? I like to call the set number one pronouns the eHarmony pronouns. Now, if you've been around long enough, you know that eHarmony was the first blockbuster dating website for how to match couples up, okay? If you were a single guy or a single gal, you wanted to find a mate or a partner, you'd go to eHarmony and sign up for an account. eHarmony pronouns are pronouns that attach to singular nouns. Okay? And if you're an eHarmony account holder, you're trying to find a single person to attach to as well, right? So if I have a singular noun and I want to attach a pronoun to it, I use the eHarmony pronouns. This is the set one pronouns. Okay? The set two pronouns, my nickname for them is the community pronouns. Okay? Community pronouns. These are the pronoun suffixes that we are going to attach to plural nouns. Okay? So there's a distinction between singular nouns and plural nouns when it comes to which pronouns we attach. Why do I call them the community pronouns? Well, when you have community, you have plurality, right? You have more than one. So these are pronouns that are looking for some community. They're looking for plural things to attach to. And on the second page of this handout that you have, pronominal suffixes on singular nouns is page 1. Pronominal suffixes on plural nouns is page 2. I put side by side the eHarmony pronouns here and the community pronouns on this side. Okay, set 1 and set 2, so that you can see how they look compared to each other. These are both ways of saying his, but what I'm attaching the pronoun his to is a singular noun here versus a plural noun over here. So if he has one horse, it's suso. If he has many horses, it's susav. Okay, so I'm going to walk through these with you in just a few minutes, but I just want you to know up front that we're going to be dealing with two sets of pronouns here. That one set attaches to singular nouns, one set attaches to plural nouns. Here is the good news about the eHarmony pronouns, the pronouns that we're going to attach to singular nouns. They are, for the most part, identical to the pronouns you already know that attach to the lamed preposition. All right? So you don't have to learn any new pronouns. So let's take a look at these. The lamed preposition can attach to a third masculine singular pronoun, holem vav, lo, and that means to him, right? Over here, the noun horse can attach to the same pronoun, and that would be the horse of him. Okay, same pronoun. So lo and sus becomes suso, the horse of him or his horse. You see how those pronouns are identical to each other. I can say to her, la, and I use the comets and the hey with them a peak because it's a real consonant hey. And to say her horse, or the horse of her, is sus with the same pronoun, susa. Susa. Okay, so her horse. Lecha is to you, masculine singular you. And if I want to say the horse of you, masculine singular, it's susacha, with a vocal shiva here. Same pronoun. The pronoun is ka. All right, so susacha, your horse, the horse of you. If I want to say to you, and it's a feminine singular you, it's lach, with a silent shiva here under the kaf. And it's almost the same. It's actually the same pronoun. It's just that my helping vowel is slightly different. It's suseh. Not susach, but suseh. So that's why these are highlighted in red here. Because I do want you to see that there's a slightly different vowel before that kaf that has the silent shiva on it. So this is your horse, and the you of your is a woman. The horse of you, woman. Your horse. And then if I want to say to me, first common singular pronoun, it's li with a kirik yod. And if I want to say the horse of me, I use the same kirik yod, susi. Susi. All right, so no new pronouns here. It's just that I had one slight vowel change to attach this pronoun in the second feminine singular you.
Dr. Marshall, that vowel change, why is that there?
It's just something you got to learn. Yeah, that's for nouns, that's the vowel that's used. Good news. The good news here is that I'm not going to be asking you to create these forms. I just want you to be able to identify them, okay? So, you need to be able to attach the pronouns to the noun sus. That will be part of your quiz. But what I'm saying is, once you do that, for homework and stuff like that, I'm not really going to be asking you to create these forms as much as to parse them properly, okay? So you should still be able to parse it, even if you didn't know or remember that the serre is the vowel instead of the commence. All right, let's look at the plural side. Okay, so these are the plural pronouns, but we're attaching these plural pronouns to a singular noun. You learned that the third masculine plural pronoun with the lamed is hem, lahem. But in chapter 13, the preposition bet was also given. And the third masculine pronoun on the preposition bet is not usually bahem, but bam. Okay? So to them and in them are lahem and bam. And when I want to say the horse of them, the form of the third person plural pronoun that I'm going to use is the one that we saw with the preposition bet, ban. So susam is the horse of them. So there's not a new pronoun here. It's just that there's two ways to say them as pronouns, and we're using this other way here. So susam, and that's their horse, and the they is masculine plural. Lahen is to them women, and the preposition bet's form of in them women is ban. So I have a noon here, ban, lahen and ban. And to say their horse, and if the they is a group of women, there is susan. So I have the same on ending, the same pronoun as I had with the preposition bet. I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you ever have with the hey, sus hen?
Yes, that it is possible to find a singular noun with the hen ending also. All right? But the most common way, and the way you need to be thinking is that it's going to be this form if the noun is singular. When we get to the community pronouns, you will see hem and hen show up again. All right? So don't forget those. Those are coming back in just a minute. Okay, to say to y'all, and it's a male y'all, it's lahem. And to say the horse of y'all, it's susachem. Susachem. So chem, these are the same pronoun. All right? To y'all, women y'all, is lachen. And the horse of y'all, where the women are the y'all, it's susachem. So it's chen, again, the same pronoun. And then to say to us, the first common plural pronoun is nu. So it's lanu. And with the horse of us, it's going to be susenu. Susenu. The nu is the same. It's just that my vowel was a kametz here. It's a sere here. Just like over here, my vowel was a kametz, and it's a sere here. Okay? So we have a similar kind of helping vowel changing. But that's really not important as much as knowing that the new ending is the one for us. Okay, so the horse of us. Okay, so down here at the bottom of the chart, or the bottom of the first page, I give you the translation values of these pronominal suffixes attached to singular nouns. And remember, the pronouns we're using are set number 1. Okay, these are the pronouns that attach to singular nouns. Now, what I want to do next is talk about the set number 2 nouns, what I've called the community pronouns. And I want you to see that they are similar to the set 1 pronouns, and yet in a few ways they are different. So let's take a look at these. We just learned suso, susa, susaha, susek, susi. My, your, his, her, one horse. Okay? On the right side of each column, I have the community pronouns, the pronouns that attach to plural nouns. And I want you to see what happens here. The plural noun horse of horse is susim, but you're not going to see susim here. The eem is going to drop out, and I'm going to have a helping vowel that replaces it. And then I'm going to have a pronoun that comes after the helping vowel. But what I want you to see is that in each of these forms, there's one very important letter that goes with the helping vowel, and it's this letter yod. We don't have yod before the pronouns when the noun is singular. But if my noun is plural, before each pronoun, there is a yod that's signaling that we have a plural noun here. Okay? So, look at the way to say his horses. This is pronounced susav. Susav. That yod is a silent yod here in this one form. You're going to hear the yod ending in all the other forms, okay? But this is silent. So it's not susaiv, it's susav. Susav. So it's going to be written, but it won't be pronounced. The pronoun is the vav. Now that does remind you of the holum vav for the third masculine singular pronoun, doesn't it? Okay? So there is at least enough similarity here to see the correspondence. Both of these pronouns mean his. They're both third masculine singular, okay? But the vav all by itself is the way to say his when it's attached to a plural noun. So his is one him, but it's attached to something plural, his horses, okay? So susav. Now look at the next one. If I want to say her horses, it's su-se-ha. My pronoun is ha. Now notice that over here, if she has only one horse, the pronoun also has a hey, right? But there's a kametz before the hey when it's her one noun, her one thing, her one horse. Here, the kametz doesn't go before the hey, it goes after the hey. So it's suseha. So both of them have heys and both of them have kametzes, but they're in the opposite order. So suseha is her multiple horses. All right, look at your horses where the you is a masculine singular you. Okay, so there was a third feminine singular, her horses. Here, the 2ms pronoun is suseha. Notice that this ka that you see is identical to the ka that you see for the set 1 pronoun for your. Your one horse, your plural horses, it's still kaka. Sorry if you speak Spanish. But notice that there is a yod before the ka attached to the plural noun. So suseha is your horses. All right, suseha. Suseha, vocal shava, your one horse. Suseha, your multiple horses. All right, look at your horses where the you is a feminine singular you. It's su-sa-yich. Su-sa-yich. Now what do you see here? Well, you see a kaf, and what kind of a shava is under the kaf? Yeah, it's a silent shava. Notice with susei, if you're a woman and you have one horse, your pronoun is also the same, isn't it? It's a kaf with a silent shava. So the pronoun is not different. What's different is simply what comes right before the pronoun. I have an ayich before that. So susei, your one horse, susayich, your plural horses, and the you is a woman. All right? So not a new pronoun, just a slightly different way of attaching it. And then if I want to say my horses, it's susai, and let's compare that with my one horse, susi. Both of them have a yod. The yod is the same. What's different here? It's the vowel that comes right before the yod, right? I get an a vowel if it's plural, and I have my kirik, my I vowel, if it's singular horse. All right? So here's the deal. Every single place where I have a yod before the pronoun, the yod is telling me the noun is plural until I get to the first common singular. Then I have a yod in both places. So I can't go based on the yod. I can't know whether the noun is singular or plural then. So what am I going to lean on here? I have to lean on the vowel. Okay? If the vowel before the yod is kirik, then the noun is always singular. If the vowel is any other vowel besides kirik, then the noun is plural. What are the possible vowels that could go before the yod when the noun is plural? Well, let's go to the top. I have a kametz. I have a segol. I have a pathak. And then over here I have a sere, right? But you'll notice that none of these vowels are kirik. If the noun is plural, I'll have yods, but I'll never have a kirik in front of that yod. It's only the singular noun that has a kirik in front of the yod, and that's only on the first person, first common singular pronoun, my. All right? Now let's look at the plural pronouns. Okay, so the possessors here are plural, but on the left side, they're possessing a singular noun, and on the right side, they're possessing a plural noun. notice that we have the hem ending here for their horses. Third masculine plural they, and they own a multiple set of horses. I've got a yod before the hem, and of course you already know the hem ending here, don't you? We saw that with lahem. So this is not a new pronoun, okay? But when we compare it with their horse, it's Susan. There's no yod before that, okay? So you can tell the singular versus the plural form here in both the pronoun used and the fact that this one has the yod. So this is Susehem, accent on the N. Susehem, their horses, and it's a masculine they. Now all I have to do is change the mem to a noon, and I've got a feminine they, right? They're horses, and they are female. So Susehen, their horses, compare that to their one horse, Susan. I have a noon, right? But I get the extra he here on the plural one, and I've got the yod. Look at the way to say your horses, and it's a male U, 2MP. All right, it's Susechem, with the yod before, and compare that with your one horse, Susechem. There's no yod here. They're both the same pronoun, kem, right? But this one has the yod before it, this one doesn't. So that's plural, your horses. If I want to say to a group of women, get on your horses, I'm going to use the ken pronoun, Susechem. It is the same as the pronoun attached to singular nouns, Susechem, ken, the difference being that I've got this yod telling me that this noun is plural and there's no yod here, this noun is singular. So y'all have a horse over here, y'all have horses over here. And then finally, to say our horses, plural, I'm going to use the same pronoun as I used to say our one horse. Susenu over here and Susenu on the right side. They're both going to sound exactly the same. But this one will have the yod if the noun is plural. This one will not have the yod if the noun is singular. So our multiple horses versus our one horse. Susenu. Okay? So when you compare the set 2 pronouns with the set 1 pronouns, by and large, they are identical pronouns. The vowels before those pronouns will be different. And the place where I have the most differences is going to be here on the community pronouns. The third masculine singular and the third feminine singular are going to be the ones that are the most different from the form you learned with the lamed preposition. Okay. All right, so if you go to Ross, page 114, 115, and 116, we're going to see all the pronouns that we just learned. We're going to see them now in terms of how they attach to masculine and feminine nouns when they're singular and plural. Just like when we learned about construct chains, we're going to, whenever we have a noun in Hebrew with a pronoun attached to it, okay, my pronoun's going to attach to the back side, the noun is going to be in the construct state, and the pronoun is acting like the absolute noun, okay? And if you remember that principle, that nouns with pronoun suffixes are in the construct state, then you're going to remember that when we turn nouns into the construct form, what has to happen? Well, the first thing that happens is if there are endings that change, we change endings, right? And then secondly, we are going to so change endings where they can change. And then we change vowels because we're going to be adding extra syllables over here. The noun's going to lose its stress, and so I'm going to have some vowel changes that can happen as well. And the vowel changes can be due to a number of things. Old preacher sermons are long will be one of the issues that relate to vowel changes. The cuss rule, can be an issue here. The open and propertonic reducing to vocal shava can be another issue. And also, never forget that the red writer is always lurking in the background. Anytime I get two vocal shavas that end up side by side, I have to apply the red writer solution to fix those deals. Okay? So we're going to see these things happening. Now, when you go back and look at this handout with all the forms of sus, did we have any vowel changes that happened to sus? Well, I'm talking about the shurik of sus. No. The shurik stays put in every form of my noun attached to pronoun suffixes because shurik is unchangeable, right? So that's a situation where vowel changes can't happen because I'm dealing with a noun that has an unchangeable vowel. So these vowels change only if they're changeable vowels, okay? And the endings change only if they're the kinds of endings that change. And so that's what Ross 14.2 through 14.5 is dealing with, is these possible changes. So let's go to 14.2, okay? 14.2. We have already looked at all the forms of the singular noun horse, and 14.2 is dealing with a masculine singular noun. So which pronouns are we going to be attaching? We're going to be attaching set number 1 pronouns. These are the eHarmony pronouns, okay? So we've already seen how they attach to sus. What about the word davar? What if I want to say his word? Okay? His word. I have to start with the word davar. And which pronoun am I going to add to make it third masculine singular? His word. What's the pronoun here? The eHarmony pronoun for 3MS, for his? It's a Holam Vav. That's right. It's a Holam Vav. Now, is Holam Vav a vowel? Yes. So it is going to take the resh, right? Up to this point, resh is closing the syllable davar. That's closed. But the resh is now going to slide over and take this vowel. And it's going to take the tone as well. So it's going to become davaro. That means that the va is going to be pretonic and open. I've got a long vowel here. Does Hebrew want me to keep the long vowel there? Old preacher sermons are long. Open pretonic syllables require what? Long vowel. So my long kametz is going to stay right where it is. But now when the tone moves to the end, my first syllable has become propertonic and it's open. And open propertonic syllables reduce to what? They reduce to vocal shava. And so that's what's going to happen here. I'm going to get a vocal shava right there. So devaro is the word of him. That is to say, his word. Okay? So do you see how that vowel change happened here? Look at the forms in the middle of your columns on page 114. So listen to the way the vocalization goes. It's basically going to follow the pattern we just saw here. Davaro becomes devaro, his word. Look at the next one. Devara. I'm using the third feminine singular eHarmony pronoun for her. But notice that my vocal shava shows up under the first root letter because it had to reduce an open propertonic position. Her word, devara. Look at your word, devaracha. Devaracha. Notice that I have a vocal shava under the resh, and because I have a kametz under the bet right before it, I've got a method there to tell you to pronounce that as a long A and pronounce the shava as vocal. So devaracha, your word, man. The you is a man. Devarech, your word, woman. And devari, my word. These are all the pronouns that you already know that we saw attached to sus. The difference here is that davar's vowels are changeable, so I can get some vowel changing here. All right? To go to the plural suffixes, devaram, their word, devaran, their word, and the they is female. Devarchem. Let's talk about that one for just a second. Davar is my noun. If I add chem to the end of davar, I'm going to put a silent shiva here, okay, because I've got a consonantal ending, so the resh is going to stay put and close the syllable. But my accent is over here on the chem, which means this is a closed and pretonic syllable. This is going to follow the cuss rule. Closed unaccented syllables have to be what? They have to be short. And that's why I have a pathak here. Okay? Not a kametz anymore. And then this syllable over here is open and propertonic, so what's it going to reduce to? It's going to go to vocal shiva. And that's why this is spelled devar kem. Okay, devar kem. The dagesh lene in the kaf is not going to show up here because this is one of those shavas that is described in some grammars as a medial shava. It's sort of midway between a silent shava and a vocal shava. It's silent enough to close the syllable, but open enough to cause the dagesh lene to not appear here. And that's why, if you look at your form in the book, there is no dagesh lene in the kaf, okay? I don't recommend that you vocalize it, so we'll just pronounce it as devarchem. Devarchem. So that's how we would say that. And then your word, if the you is female, is devarchen, devarchen, and our word devareinu. Okay? Now, if you look, real quickly, I'll just wrap up with this. If you look at this last word at the top of page 114, we have the word for trouble. And that would appear to be an appropriate word for this chapter, right? Trouble. Amal. What's going on here? Well, the reason Ross gives this to you is because when we add the pronouns to amal, to say his trouble, her trouble, the holam vav and the kametz hey are going to take the lamed, the consonant with it. That's going to leave this open and pretonic. It needs to be long, and it already is. But this is open and propertonic. It has to reduce to what? Yeah, well, it should reduce to a vocal shiva. That's what we want to see there. But because that's a guttural, it needs a compound shiva instead. That's the only reason that little column is here, okay? Is because I've got a guttural in root 1 position. When it goes to vocal shiva, it gets a compound shiva instead, okay? So his trouble is amalo. Amalo. Her trouble, amalah, with a kametz hey, right? Your trouble, amalacha, and so forth. So we won't take the time to read all those, but just wanted you to see what's going on there. All right?